Quality Assured Films does not condone the misuse of internet reviews. The opinions of Michael and John should be taken lightly prior to the viewing of said movie. We realize no one is perfect and only ask that logic be at least considered. Nothing more.
Quality Assured Films.
We hadn't been able to get anywhere near Stonewood for years. So when you take him down this time, you take him down hard.
Welcome to the Punch.
This is Mike.
And this is John.
We're continuing on with John's obsession with movies and shows made in the United Kingdom.
Yes.
And this week we watched Welcome to the Punch.
Welcome to the Punch.
Action movie starring the Kool-Aid guy.
I get hot and thirsty riding a skateboard. Me too. This is a job for Kool-Aid. Hey, Kool-Aid!
Oh, yeah! He goes on a murderous rampage through a London neighborhood.
Yes.
It was very shocking.
Kool-Aid here, bringing you fun. Kool-Aid got this on the run.
I was very excited about this because I've seen the Kool-Aid guy only as a cartoon. So the first film adaptation of him, I was expecting a lot.
And I really enjoyed the twist ending where it turned out he was filled with blood.
He's created a legend for himself. Only lasting thing about Jacob Sternwood would be his prison sentence.
So this starred Mark Strong and James
McAvoy.
Xavier, and they were on a quest to collect a paycheck between movies.
Pretty much. Welcome to the Punch Me in the Face for suggesting this movie because it was terrible.
Good one.
Thank you. Last time we, of course, watched Attack the Block, which I think you may have said a moment ago.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
You're having flashbacks.
I am. This was, again, another movie where, I swear, I watched so much British television, but 90% of the film I had no idea what was going on. I did not understand the words they were saying.
If you not, fabulous.
So why did you label the house?
I think it tells more about the actual movie making itself than the slang, because I think a good movie, like taking some other examples from the British crime movies that I've seen, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Great movie.
Mainly Guy Ritchie films.
Yeah.
His characters have different dialects, extremely thick accents, but they're not crucial to understanding the plot. If you miss a line of dialogue, you're not going to lose track of what's going on. The character motivations are very clear. Things happen in a very orderly way that's easy to follow, and obviously his style is placed over on top of that. But even some of the dialogue itself is intentionally ridiculous, and/or the accent is a parody of its real-life counterpart for comedic effect. It's not bad. It's not because they didn't have the microphone in the right place and the sound editor didn't catch it.
Wow. That's a lot of stuff. That was good. He knows stuff about movies.
Last night, a man was picked up suffering from a gunshot wound to the stomach. He's Jacob Sternwood's son.
As we were watching, we were talking about how at no point in the movie were we given any information on any of the characters.
Yes, that was very distracting.
We're dropped right in.
Yeah.
We decided we're going to spoil the shit out of these movies that we watch, right?
Oh, yes, we are going to spoil
Okay.
them.
All right.
Absolutely. If you want to see this, well, don't even see this movie. And that's another thing. At least Attack the Block didn't run long. It had a short run time.
An hour, 20 minutes, bang, bang, boom. Plot moved along.
Yep.
This movie made Attack the Block look like a masterpiece in storytelling, visually, which is insanity.
What is that, cuz? That's an alien, bruv. Believe it.
Which I don't get because you have James McAvoy, so right off the bat, I saw James McAvoy. That's the whole reason I got this movie.
Right. And Mark Strong, these are really good actors.
See, I'm not familiar with Mark Strong. What is he?
He's in, like, everything.
Everything? Dang.
I think his most famous role is as Sinestro in Green Lantern.
Oh, I actually did not watch that film because I heard of how horrible it was.
I think he won an Oscar for it.
Green Lantern had Oscar nominations?
Yes, John. Yeah.
If he thinks he can walk his son out, he's going to check the angles.
It started off strong.
Yes, I agree. I was actually
Pun
excited.
intended.
There was actually a punch within the first 2 minutes. We were waiting for it. The punch came. But I think that's what the problem was. The movie decided that they were going to open with a lot of action to get you excited, and then that would be the excuse for the next 30... Well,
What's that
basically
called?
the rest of the movie.
And media res or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
Google it.
Google.
But
Fuck Bing. There's this big action scene.
Yeah.
At the beginning.
Yep.
Car chase, James McAvoy is shooting people, he's fucking beating the crap out of people. It's exactly what you would want it to be. And then it stops.
immediately comes to a grinding halt.
40 minutes of just people that... They don't even try to build the characters. There's a woman. Was it his sister?
No, you said it was his sister.
I thought
that
it
was your
his
guess.
sister. Let's talk about James McAvoy and like what his character...
I don't think he said a word of dialogue. There was a lot of screaming.
James McAvoy, if we had to count it, there must have been at least 9 to 11 screams throughout the film.
So he gets shot in the leg,
Right off the bat.
and by Mark Strong, who then runs away. He's chasing him. He's a bank robber
Yet
of a
another
heist
movie.
that we never saw.
What? Yeah, which had no significance.
And there's no... Their history's not set up at all except for that one time. It's not like I've been chasing him for years and I got so close.
Nope.
No, it was that one time he almost caught him, and then 3 years pass, and we're not given any information on what happened during those 3 years, except that James McAvoy brooded a lot in his apartment.
Yes.
I'm not well.
He sucked the fluid out of his fucked up leg for being shot.
There's 4 scenes, I'd say 4, where he sticks a needle into his fucking kneecap, which is bloated, and he just sucks out all this disgusting liquid. I actually thought early on that would come back in some way.
I did too. I mean, he was gonna make somebody drink it.
Yeah, or like inject it into their eye or the side of their head.
Oh yeah.
But no, nothing.
Never came back around.
It was supposed to, build up pity for
Make
him?
us feel bad for him, I guess.
Can you just take a step back for a minute?
Max is an inch away from piecing all this together.
Right off the bat, he's late for everything. Remember?
Right, he's perpetually late. He couldn't quite catch the bad guy. Was always late to work. Somehow messed up his relationship with his not sister.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, big reveal there. The love interest, which, by the way, they kill.
Right.
They murder her.
Right. I saw it coming as soon as she started writing on her hand.
Ah, talk about the writing on the hand.
I thought they were gonna cut it or hand off, or there was gonna be some signal. I mean, the movie broadcast everything right off the bat, but gave you no motivation to care about anything that was happening.
Nope.
It was just
sad James McAvoy.
Yeah, it was James McAvoy doing his best sad Keanu, shitty beard and all,
For
for the whole movie. And then it was like they were like, "Oh shit, it's been 2 hours. We need to have something happen." Slow-mo granny shootout.
Oh my god.
Everyone got shot in the shoulder.
Yes.
Because it's really difficult to rig up squibs in any other part of the body. His shoulder's the easiest. And everyone has assault rifles, but could not hit I feel like I was watching an old Western.
They were sitting across from each other
They were
on a
sitting
couch
across
and a
each
chair.
other in a living room. Yeah.
And then meanwhile, it was slow motion, like you said, and they're jumping. They're all in the middle of a dive shooting. Like, you know, as the slow motion began, they happen to be back
away from each other.
James McAvoy's jumping straight back with both feet kicked out in a V shape. He's shooting in between his legs. And in one of the scenes, he shoots straight up as he's falling backwards. It just...
Oh my god. And the guy that got shot was the guy that actually hit the person they were trying to shoot.
Yeah, that's right.
The two people that were fine could not hit him within arm's reach of him. Oh my god.
Maybe it's not all about Jacob Sternwood.
That partner of his, I tell you, they had this girl. She had this obsession with writing. Not an obsession, but she didn't carry around a notepad like a regular detective. She was freelance, and she'd write on her hands, and, you know, they made little jokes like, "Oh, you worried about me getting ink poisoning?" And,
it was really weird jokes. I feel like the movie was written... I feel like it was like, they just went with the first draft.
Yeah.
They were like, look, we don't have time. IFC only gave us... they only gave us a certain amount. The National Lottery contributed X amount of dollars, and we gotta make it work. And so... it was either improvised or oh my god, what was the ink poisoning? Oh, you're afraid it's gonna give me ink poisoning? And then he said, I see it hasn't affected your tongue. And then she said, at least I still have my ass.
Oh
something. Yeah. I don't understand that. I didn't get that. Was that?
Well, if I remember correctly, prior to that scene, there was she said something about how, like, you're up, you know, you're getting your ass banged out by the detective, like, but still, they had moved on though at this point, and then she's still making the ass reference, and you're like, what?
He just constantly yelled at his superiors in front of everybody, and we were joking like the movie would have just ended because everyone would have just been in HR counseling sessions.
Yep.
And we didn't see him take on any other cases. They just gave us the impression that he was just completely obsessed with this one case, and no one gave him any respect at work.
Yeah,
he's sitting in the paddy wagon with the guy they arrested at the beginning. He's laughing at him.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. See, I was so confused. I didn't know who that guy was. I thought he was a detective, but he turned out to be like a military guy that was helping them.
He was in handcuffs.
Oh, okay.
They were taking him in at the beginning.
Oh, okay. See, I completely missed that.
Yeah. They were trying to interview him. They were trying to get information out of him, and that's what he was saying. I'm too smart for you. I already know what you're going to ask me. And that's when they asked him what movie. He said he was watching a movie with his grandma.
Oh, yeah. What was the movie? Oh, shit. Canary Island?
I was with my grandmother.
Doing what?
I was watching a film.
What film?
Calamity Jane.
It was some sort of old Western movie. And if I'm...
Canary Island!
I don't know.
Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I'm watching Canary Island with me mom.
Getaway Jane?
Calamity Jane.
Oh, Calamity Jane. That's
Jane.
what it was.
There you go.
Calamity Jane. And they made another reference to Calamity Jane later on in the movie again. Remember, he has that guy now at gunpoint. Our main character has him at gunpoint.
Right.
And he says something like...
She wrote it on her hand also.
Oh, she wrote the word...
She wrote the movie on her hand.
See, I didn't
That's
even
where
see
that whole thing came in, was she wrote it on her hand, and that's when he was like, oh, you don't have a notebook or whatever?
Oh.
But then he was like, I already know what you're going to ask me. And then James McAvoy said, how did it end? And he said, they rode off into the fucking sunset, you prick.
It's alright to be afraid. You may run, you may be safe.
There were so many speeches in this movie where the bad guy does the long talk, like he's about to get killed. And you didn't know what I went through. none of you have went through what I went through in the war. And that's fine. Say it 1 or 2 times, but he keeps going for like 5 minutes, and they're just sitting there with guns trained on him.
It kind of seemed like, to me, the point of the movie, I guess, which you find out eventually, is that, as far as I understand it, there's someone campaigning for political office. Police officers in Britain are not given guns.
Oh yeah, they make that reference with the whistle and the baton.
Right. There's someone running for political office that believes that police officers should have better armor and guns to better battle crime. And so they created a setup, basically, where there was a situation where there's going to be a lot of automatic weapons, and the arresting officers were going to be under-equipped and overpowered, and there was supposedly this was gonna spark a public outrage, and the guy running for political office was just gonna have this big sweep, and he was gonna be elected in because that was his platform. And I felt like that was basically the message. I felt like in the hands of a better creative team, it would have been a philosophical issue to think about.
Yeah,
but I think they pretty clearly, they raised the question: should police officers have body armor and automatic assault rifles? Yes. Yes, they should.
We'll end this tonight. And when it's over, you'll go to prison.
What you just said there, that sounds to me like a good movie. We should talk a little more about that. The plan, of course, goes awry. One of the kids is killed, or both of the kids are actually killed. I'm sorry, one is killed, the other one is wounded. The wounded kid ends up being our, villain's son.
Right. It was like an after-school special that they decided to write a backstory for.
Damn you, James McAvoy.
What if the officer had a past with the kid's father? And the kid's father was a bank robber.
Dad?
And also, there's a loony ex-military hired killer that's smuggling guns in dead soldiers' coffins.
I was with my grandmother.
Oh my god.
It was so overly complicated, but went nowhere. For no reason.
I'm so mad. So mad.
I mean, we weren't expecting anything great out of it, and it just reassured our initial fears. But
James McAvoy. I'll never.
I mean, he does have a good emotional range, but they didn't give him anything to do.
No. Which, by the way, again, he has an injury on his knee. Yet the entire movie, he's running.
He's leaping
diving,
over counters,
jumping behind bars, like he's drop kicking. He was actually holding down the guy in the back of the car, and the guy's like reaching for his gun. That would take a lot of fucking strength to hold somebody down,
right?
And you would need your leg.
Why don't we just let off some fireworks while we're at it? Ah, lovely fireworks.
We just watched James McAvoy in Romeo and Juliet.
I'd probably rather would have watched that. Actually, this was funny to watch.
Yeah.
And make fun of.
Just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it would actually get worse. There was a line, if I'm not mistaken, where he said, "Oh, you hired me for my good looks," or whatever.
Every joke fell flat. I mean, it was sloppy. Mark Strong's in the bathroom trying to hide from a gunfight, so he's ducking in the bathroom behind a tile wall, and they're shooting all around him. They just shoot the shit out of the bathroom, and they show him roll forward, and there's gunshot holes, there's bullet holes
behind
through the tile behind where he would have been crouching.
They were exploding through the wall, and it didn't hit him.
They unloaded like 2 clips each and completely missed him somehow.
the most confusing part to me also, there were at least 2 scenes where they showed James McAvoy almost as if he were a superhero. Like at the beginning, he gets out of his car, and the bad guys got away on their motorcycles, and they're pretty far away, and he's trying to listen for them, and they don't have their engines on. They're just pushing him down the street, and then of course they start him up, and he's able to hear them. Yeah, I could believe that, but then later on, I was confused. At least at that point, we thought
he touched the glasses, and it did a flashback to the previous scene.
The scene we just saw.
That he would have no way of knowing what happened inside the room, but we saw all the angles that we had just seen. Yeah. Exactly as we had just seen them.
See, if they would have added an actual power to the movie, I would have been a little bit happier.
That would have been so stupid, but at least, it would have taken it to another level, I guess. Whoever directed this was obsessed with the bird's eye shot.
Yes.
Every scene had an establishing shot from 30 stories above whatever we were watching. Even if we had already been at that location before,
they would have another one.
And what is the security at the docks? The shipping containers are... No one's watching them? Who's letting them in?
Yeah, there was a scene where the main character, female lady, goes in and tries to get information from the guy.
Right.
He turns around to get it for her, and as he's talking and not looking, she leaves.
Walks out of the room.
She walks out of the room, walks down to the container.
Yeah.
And she just... you never see him. It's not like he goes, "Excuse me, miss, what's going on here?" Or even comes chasing after her.
No one comes to check on her. There was no patrol. There wasn't a guard dog. Nothing.
And this movie really loved flashbacks. It would show you
something you just seen.
Even at the end, there's a scene where the James McAvoy and what's his name, Tim Gunn. What the hell's the guy's name?
Yep, Tim Gunn.
Tim Gunn and James McAvoy are gun to gun.
How large is large?
James McAvoy's really brave. He's a really bold actor. He's very method.
Fucking prostitute. Fuck my cock.
So they have so there's an enormous empty nightclub, right? And you're trying to make sure that your friend has a gun somewhere in the room.
Yes. Much like The Godfather.
I guess, okay.
Where they leave it in the toilet.
Right.
Michael.
Right. But did they talk about that beforehand? Was that like their thing? There's a pinball machine for some reason in this nightclub.
Yeah, and what's confusing about that is they agree to meet at this nightclub, but who was the one that made the plans to meet at the nightclub? Wasn't it the detective guy, the glasses? He said, "I know a place we can meet here." Like, he says that to Tim Gunn.
When did you go Grecian on us?
I'm not gonna remember his name.
Right, but that other guy was working. The beard face was working with. Beard Papa was working with Mark Strong.
Oh, Mark Strong.
And he kind of knew it was a setup.
Oh, okay.
So he wanted to make sure that he had a gun just in case on the premises. So he somehow screwed it to the bottom of a pinball machine.
Yeah, there was a little holder there for it that fit this little, what was it, an Uzi?
Yeah.
It fit it perfectly.
Yeah.
Did somebody... And that's another thing.
And the only reason he saw it was because he was running from the gunfire and fell on the ground.
Oh, he didn't know it was there.
He had not that I know of. There was no indication that he knew it was there. He just happened to see it, and then he ran in the open all the way across the open dance floor
while someone was shooting at him with a high-powered semi-automatic.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, this movie. Welcome to the Punch. Welcome. Oh, and let's talk about that. Welcome to the Punch. The whole time we're thinking, okay, why is this movie called Welcome to the Punch?
Right.
Is it because James McAvoy punches Tim Gunn?
Oh, was that necessary? Oh.
Is it because...
I would watch that.
What?
That should have been what this movie was.
That would have been interesting. But the punch ends up being
the docks, or the shipping container yard.
Yep. Well,
there were three sections to the shipping container yard. One was the something, and this was the other one, and this one was called the punch.
And it actually said on the entrance, "Welcome to the Punch."
Right.
The name of the film.
He'd written something on his hand. Punch 119.
Would we have understood that ahead of time if we were in London town?
Maybe, yeah, perhaps, because, yeah, that might have been something that is known. Oh, the Punch! Oh my god, they're filming over by the Punch!
Because to me, it just seemed like it was randomly chosen from Google Translate.
This whole movie. I have to give you a lot of credit. You called out, you predicted quite a lot of things throughout this movie.
Oh, thank you.
You made some, in jokes, you said something like, "We're gonna have to work together," and sure enough,
Yep.
These two people that hate each other,
right,
that have this 3-year, resentment from James McAvoy, and they end up working together for the good of the cause.
Right. And who were the other people? I don't even know if I have more to say about it.
Welcome to the Punch. Let's get down to it.
What a piece of crap.
Do you recommend Welcome to the Punch? Do I even have to ask that?
I do not recommend Welcome to the Punch.
Nor do I.
Quality denied.
I apologize that I recommended Welcome for the Punch.
I would rather have been punched than watch Welcome to the Punch.
Yeah, let's do that.
Get down!
Final thoughts.
Welcome to the Punch. James McAvoy, you tricked me. I believed in you. Everything I've seen you in, even hearing your voice in fucking Finding Nemo.
Let's go kick some grass.
Or whatever the hell it's called. I was excited. I thought you would be great, and you stole an hour and 40 minutes of my time.
I think he did the best with what he was given.
I'm just mad he picked this movie.
Which was not much.
Exactly.
Maybe the lottery paid him off.
Which, yeah, the lottery references, by the way, this movie at the beginning said funds paid for by the National Lottery. So, what is it, like a winner decided to make a movie? Because that's what it felt like, a winner of the lottery.
Maybe that's why.
Like they were like, I always wanted to make a movie when I win the lottery, and they made this.
I used to work at the dockyard with the shipping containers. He had a cameo as the guy at the desk. That was him.
That would make perfect sense.
And she writes in her hand, see? Why do I have a New York accent? I live in London. I think we just figured it out. I think we just cracked the case.
You know what? I'm not mad anymore.
You know what? For a movie written by a shipping container yard worker...
with aspirations.
With dreams of Hollywood.
Good job, buddy. And kudos on getting James McAvoy.
Yeah,
I forgive you.
You really outdid yourself.
Welcome to the Punch.
So, is this film QA approved or not?
This is denied.
Denied!
Or
I will have to 180% agree.
Quality denied.
Oh, that's a double D.
D in the face, McAvoy.
Quality Assured Films.
As always, this is Michael McCubbin.
And this is Jonathan Frampton.
And this is
Quality Assured Films.
Nicely done.
Quality Assured Films.
They ride off into the fucking sunset.